At 52, Zambia continues to rely on hydropower electricity to drive her socio-economic development. The mines on the Copper Belt, industries in Lusaka and along the line of rail all depend on power distributed by the Zambia Electricity Supply Corporation, ZESCO, to drive the wheels of their business operations. Over the years, the country's development process, including its transition, has put a strain on its capacity to generate electricity in order to meet the growing demand for power. Drought conditions from 2013 to 2016 have impacted negatively on Zambia's energy sector as the country's electricity generation capacity slumped, igniting nationwide load shedding to share the reduced power ZESCO was generating. Government was compelled to import electricity at huge costs from countries such as Mozambique in order to mitigate against the power deficit that faced the country. On the other hand, government devised a strategy to explore, invest, and exploit alternative reliable energy sources such as solar and thermal power. Maamba Collieries Thermal Power Plant is Zambia's first ever thermal power plant. It is located about 352 kilometers from Lusaka in Sinazongwe district of Southern Province. Nava Bharat Singapore, a subsidiary of Nava Bharat Ventures, an Indian-listed business conglomerate, was selected as government strategic partner to set up Zambia's first thermal power plant. Nava Bharat would have 65% shareholding, while the state-owned Zambia Consolidated Copper Mines, ZCCM Investment Holdings, took a 35% stake. The ambitious power project, which started in 2011, saw investments of about 843 million United States dollars, galvanized from equity partners and a consortium of international and local commercial banks and development financial institutions. SEPCO, a Chinese electric power construction company that designs and builds power generation plants, substations, and transmission lines, was tasked in 2011 to work on the project, which was completed by July 2016. The project involved reviving the closed coal mine, which was shut due to operational challenges, and the establishment of a coal handling and processing plant. Also set up is a 300 megawatts coal-powered plant composed of 2 units of 150 megawatts each, along with a 48-kilometer, 330 kilovolts transmission line and a 21-kilometer water pipeline and pump house. President Edgar Lungu commissioned the first unit, producing 150 megawatts of power in August 2016, underscoring his administration's desire to advance the social and economic development of the country.
Maamba Power Plant meets the baseload needs of the nation, thereby reducing the deficit that Zambia is facing due to declining water levels in key reservoirs, as I've mentioned. This power plant will provide the much required alternative source of energy, and I just hope you can expand to 600 megawatts in due course.
The process of power generation at the thermal power plant is a tedious exercise.
This you are seeing behind me is a 2 by 150 megawatt power plant, so we are able to generate 300 megawatts. Start up this power plant, initially we might not have power. Now this means we need power for our auxiliaries to run. Now, 7 kilometers from here, we have a startup power, which is powered from the grid. These 8 MVA transformers are the ones which supply the auxiliary power of 6.6 kV at 6 meters of our main power building you are seeing behind me. So by that, we are able to produce auxiliary power to make our instrument run initially before we start to generate.
Electricity generation is no ordinary phenomenon, as one of the thermal power plant's engineers explained.
When the core is processed to a size less than 10 mm, it is then conveyed to the boilers, where the combustion will take place. The turbine will rotate, and the maximum speed is 3,000 revolutions per minute. So this turbine, due to its rotation, is coupled to the generator. The generator will also rotate to generate electricity.
The process is monitored and relayed for export to the national power grid.
Main screen here, this is the overview of our boiler, where different equipments are shown, different parameters which are monitored as the plant is being operated. And also there we are seeing the turbine. So from here in the control room, we control and monitor all the operations, and all the parameters happen from here. Our plant is almost zero tolerance regarding environmental degradation, because we don't allow any dirt to be emitted in the atmosphere. We don't allow any ash disposed in the ground, which can degrade our environment.
The power plant has a modern water treatment plant. It ensures that the water for power generation meets environmental standards.
This is demineralizing section, part of a power plant system where we produce water for the production of steam. Our main aim here is to remove all this, the scale-forming ions as well as suspended solids. So this process starts with clarifying. After the clarifying, the water is pumped to the filters there. Those are dual-medium filters. There are two, where we remove the suspended solids. The main purpose of the SCF is to remove the color, smell, also a filter.
Maamba Collieries Limited Chief Executive Officer, whose firm manages the power plant, is confident that the thermal power plant is achieving the aim of bridging the power shortfall currently facing the country.
The plant today that both has two units of 150 megawatts each. In terms of operational availability, both the units are fully available and have been proved in front of other stakeholders, and we have been generating on both the units. That it's a very exciting project. It's a very unique project, and it is the first of its kind in Zambia, and it involves several stakeholders, and we have got together international funding from China to South Africa and Zambia, and all of them have come together with the belief that such a project is viable.
Although Maamba Collieries is ready to transmit the 300 megawatts of power, management at Maamba Collieries stress that the thermal power plant is being underutilized because the National Power Utility Company is not taking up all the power the plant is able to generate.
Despite us being ready to transmit on both units, there have been in the past some constraints from the ZESCO's grid, and we have been advised that the full load may not be exported from Maamba until such time some upgradation works and some grid stability related activities are completed by ZESCO and by NCC. So therefore, we will be bound by the dictates of the NCC in export of full power. So depending on how much they can take at any point, depending on how the grid is functioning, we'll be supplying that much power.
However, the National Power Utility Company, ZESCO, stresses that it is doing its best to address the power deficit in the country.
The Muzuma project has been one of the huge projects that we're extremely happy as ZESCO Limited, because we are now able to say we are proud of this line from Kafiwe to Livingston. It used to be a 220 kV transmission line, but we managed to upgrade it to a 330 kV transmission line, meaning that we are now able to evacuate power from Maamba thermal plant. Initially, we had challenges to evacuate power from Maamba thermal plant because their capacity was much more higher than the transmission line that was responsible to evacuate that power. And so with a 330 kV transmission line, we're able to evacuate a total of 300 megawatts from Maamba thermal plant. But we are not evacuating the total of 300 megawatts. We're only evacuating about 260 megawatts. The reasons are that the remaining 40 megawatts is used by Maamba themselves for operation costs within their system. But what is important is that we're able to evacuate about 260 megawatts from Maamba thermal plant. And they have indicated to us that in future they want to go up to a generation of about 600 megawatts. And we are more than ready as this government.
The thermal power plant's viability and sustainability has been assured by the discovery of large coal deposits in the area.
I stay in the power plant because the power plant needs a feed of 1.7 million tons per annum. We have opened Izuma A open pit. We've just started operations there on 1st July last year. So with the opening of Izuma A pit, that ensures us continuity. From the stocks in Izuma B, we'll proceed to expose in about 6 months' time the coal that is in Izuma A. So Izuma A has stock more than 30 million tons of coal. And Izuma A alone is enough to run the power plant for 19 years. So the coal from Izuma A, the coal from Izuma, and the stockpile from Izuma B are enough actually to run the power plant for many more years to come. We have a long life of coal here. It will go for many more years, more than 80 years.
It is said with change comes resistance and difference of opinions and views. The revival of the Maamba coal mine and establishment of the thermal power plant has generated different views about the benefits accruing in the community.
Community think the owner bought the mine, and the community, because it has been ever there. Maamba Collieries has been there. The people, we had the shanty compounds elsewhere. People were very free. They used to build whatever they want to, even the houses to live in. Then this time the challenge is that the community have no powers to build whatever. Even when the toilet collapses, they say you don't have to dig another pit latrine because you don't own any land.
Direct benefit in terms of employment is almost nil, because out of about 700 people that were in employment before the privatization, but Maamba Collieries took less than 200. Now you can imagine all these people were offloaded in the streets, and there is no hope. And the second thing is that we don't know the arrangement between government and the investor. There are more foreign employees than the local, the Zambians. It's very difficult to comment. Maybe arranged, or we don't know. Because if it was the other way, we would have said, I think the government, or the country has benefited. But then, yeah, it's a bit negative. But on the part of power output, well, we appreciate.
For others, their story is different.
Kuotombo baba bikira at least baba ingizizya marino mari yakadisho nto but no baba ingizizya ino mbubo kwinda mbimbo yakabede kaindi ila tugwasirizya mari yabafola ziyotula mbubo byakwinda kubalubireka kaindi kambo balagwasha mushonte wabalabadera kuzikolo.
The mine, it has been down for some time, and to find somebody who can come in a rural part of Zambia and put up a big thing like that one, a thermal plant, we really appreciate. And the community, I think they have benefited because people have gotten jobs. Business, of course, they have benefited because
because we find that money is in circulation because of the community that are working that side. When they get paid, also business people get some benefits. So it has really helped the community.
With the coming of the power plant, I think it's a good thing because the nation will benefit from the electricity that will be generated from that side. In my opinion, I wish even the villages could be electrified so that we benefit from this commodity. Not only the nation, but even the villages within Maamba and Sinazongwe district as a whole.
The company explains that hundreds of locals have found jobs at the thermal power plant, contrary to assertions that foreign workers have overrun the power plant facility.
NCL itself has got 228 employees, of which Zambians are 212 and expats of 16. That is Maamba Collieries. And we have several contractors who are working in the plant. One is of course the SEPCO, which is doing the construction of the power plant. They are still here, they are doing the commissioning trials yet. Before they hand over, they have to go through various system checks. So they are still here, and there are about 230 Chinese but they also have about 400 plus locals working for them. And of course we have in the operation and maintenance of our plant, we have a large number of engineering specialists, about 63 of them, and 50% of that we have the Zambians, about 30 plus. And then we have a mining contractor who has about 200 odd locals working in manning the machines and things like that. And we have a few expats who are involved in the workshop and running the show.
As part of its corporate social responsibility, Maamba Collieries has opted to facilitate the empowerment of locals.
The coal used to be just left lying around as waste, and it used to catch fire, it used to pollute. But now we are taking that coal, the low-grade coal, the so-called waste coal, putting it in the power plant, burning it. We are trapping the ash. As you would have noticed, there is no smoke coming from the power plant. That is because the entire ash which is there in the coal is suppressed, collected, and it's a very useful byproduct, I must tell you, because we are hoping to set up a brick manufacturing plant where this ash will go. So we will have a regular supply of ash. So you would see that a waste product, which was originally the coal, is now converted into very high quality, costly and very useful product. One is in terms of energy and in terms of bricks, which will be strong, which will be used for construction. And we are hoping that the local community, there will be some entrepreneur from the community who will come and set up a brick making plant and take our ash and make bricks and sell it. So we are hoping some ancillary industries will come up because of our presence, and which will allow Sinazongwe as a district to develop.
The Maamba Thermal Power Plant is poised to reduce Zambia's reliance on hydropower to meet current and future electricity demands. Away from Sinazongwe to Livingstone, the tourist capital, is another power project being jointly undertaken by the governments of Zambia and Zimbabwe. The hydropower project, being undertaken at a cost of $4 billion United States dollars when complete, will be expected to generate about 2,400 megawatts of electricity for the benefit of the two countries. The Batoka Gorge hydropower project is located on the Zambezi River across the boundary between Zambia and Zimbabwe, not far from the famous Victoria Falls. It will be the third largest hydropower project on the Zambezi River after the Kariba and Mozambique's Coborabassa power station. Once completed, the Batoka Gorge hydropower project will increase power generation between the two countries and reduce power outages.